Well, hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. As you can see, today we've got the Ultimate Edition Drew McIntyre from Series 26, I think? I'm not even gonna lie, I don't know. I don't really keep track of the numbers as well as I used to, but as you can see, we've got the nice promo shot on the back. Kind of completely skipped the shot of him on the side there. Got his name on the other side. Got his name up here as well with the E there. I don't know if that's supposed to represent anything. You got some of the bullshit on the bottom of the box as well if you want to pause to look at that. But yeah, all I can say is don't mind. I'm in the middle of filming stuff for my pick fed. But on that note, all background stuff aside, why don't we get this Drew McIntyre open and get him out of his plastic prison and go over all the wonderful things about this Drew. At least I'm assuming it's all wonderful. Alrighty, you guys, getting into this Drew McIntyre's action figure accessories. As you can see, he comes with 3 different interchangeable heads. Of course, one is already plugged in on the figure. 3 different sets of interchangeable hands, including a set of mic holding hands that is already plugged into the figure. But as you can see, well, actually, let's look at the hands first. Usually the most boring part of any wrestling figure, I guess, nowadays. Just a simple addition of the hands. Always a nice addition, though, to have any form of hands that could help you really. And well, these are of course his entrance posing hands / maybe his claymore hands when he slaps the good old thigh down. You've got the memeing on CM Punk's injury mishap and stuff when he prayed for it to happen. Nice little accessory there. Speaking of a nice little accessory from that same moment, we've got the laughing Drew McIntyre head scan, which is a nice head scan, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to say this could be my favorite Drew head scan, and that's just because I could really see myself busting that out mid-promo so he could laugh at somebody. Of course, you've got the set standard Drew McIntyre head scan, the one that's been with Drew McIntyre for a good inception of his elites now, if you think about it. But then getting into all the rubber and cloth goods, you've got the arm gauntlets here, which if I can get it to focus, there we go. I absolutely love the way these look. And they remind me a lot of the War Machine arm gauntlets. Just the way they look like they're gonna, just wrap around the arm here on the figure. And of course, I do want to get a shot of them with the gauntlets and everything on. Speaking of everything else, we've got this nice sleeveless rubber jacket. Of course, if it was a sleeved rubber jacket, I would probably fucking hate this thing, let's be honest here. We've got the Drew McIntyre logo with the dragon on it. We've got nice texturing layered all throughout this, especially with the little intricate details here, like this scaly feel there, even though it's not obviously like a genuine scaly feel. You can tell it's kind of patterned after that to this semi-rougher front end here on the jacket. I'd say this is sculpted really, really well. Along with the cloth kilt, that is a little bit weird, I will say it like that, just because of the painted on chains. Maybe if they were ballsy enough and could have added real chains, it would have been nice. But at the end of the day, I'll take this over a rubber kilt any effing day. But scooting all that good shit aside, getting into this Drew McIntyre, first things first, this new head scan sadly has a little bit of a paint blemish on the forehead here, but minus that, something I could probably easily fix up if I really took the time to do it. Just, I like the way this head scan looks, especially in person. It's probably the head scan that one over there should have been. The one that we see on a lot of Drew McIntyre elites. A nice, just standard scowl face, no smirk, no laughing, no reaction, just all business. We've got this big ass torso, which might be my only complaint when it comes to this Drew McIntyre, though he is a big beefy dude. I don't know if this is the right amount. Honestly, maybe a little bit smaller would work a bit better, but you know what? I can't say I hate it. Of course, it's gonna sadly come with a lot of the Ultimate Edition formulas, but honestly, not too bad. The ab crunch is a little ass on it though, but the back bend is pretty amazing, which I guess is kind of the saving grace of the ab articulation here. Of course, standard black wrist tape, and I didn't grab them, but this attire is somewhat just the, Elite Series, 110 Drew McIntyre. I'm not exactly sure. I did review it though, so if you would like to, feel free to go check that out. After this, of course, after this. But the main difference amongst these two attires, maybe besides the plaid pattern, is the fact that it has the Drew McIntyre logo right here on his buttocks. Other than that though, the scaling pattern that's on the trunks to the flat mat here in the front, I want to say it's all fairly the same, including the fact that it's white. So I don't know exactly if this is the greatest attire for an Ultimate Edition, but maybe it was more set for the entrance gear and not the attire. I don't know, but because if you guys know, I had to take that Drew McIntyre that I'm talking about, obviously not this one, but I turned it into a custom because the torso was cracked all to hell already anyways, and the lower legs on it were obviously a hell of a lot easier to swap than on any of the older Drew McIntyre elites with pine cone joints, so yeah. But all around, I can't say I am hating this figure. The articulation is pretty top notch so far, whether it's the butterfly joints or anything of that scene. But I guess with all that being said, why don't we get this figure all posed up in his final pose, and well, we can just say our final thoughts about this Drew McIntyre. Alrighty, you guys. It is quite a simple pose, but yet I feel like it is a fairly effective pose nonetheless. We've got Drew McIntyre all geared up in the entrance gear, holding the Damn Defiant Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, aka the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, just renamed because I'm lazy and can't afford to have custom belts. Anyway, we can say that this could be a potential possibility with the pick fed. Maybe a good potential reason as to why I bought this was for the pick fed. Never exactly know. Of course, I didn't get it for Jon Moxley versus Drew, which is currently up on the channel as we speak. Go check that match out if you guys haven't. Let alone, Cody versus Ilya Dragunov. And just so many more matches from the UK tour to come. As you guys can see, we're in the mix of one right now. Along with, just a back catalog of plenty of good stuff to go watch. At least in my opinion, good stuff, I guess you could say. I don't know why I keep saying I guess you could say, but I digress. this Drew McIntyre Ultimate Edition, it is pretty damn worth it in my opinion, especially if you're paying retail price. Retail price for me living where I live at currently would mock this up about $35. I paid a little over $35 on Amazon for this, and I can't say I'm very disappointed in this, but there is two things that have to do with quality control issues. And, well, I pointed out the one with the one head scan, and there is a little bit of a paint blemish on the one arm. Not the biggest ordeal, easily fixable things as long as it's not like embedded into the plastic and it's just a layer that's sitting on top of the plastic. But that's if I also decide to take the time to do so as well. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, what would I rank this Drew McIntyre on a scale of 1 to 10? Honestly, and this is just my honest opinion, this may be one of the best Drew McIntyre figures to date. But if you're an Ultimate Edition fan, of course it may not be the best Ultimate Edition, but just by the Drew McIntyre standard, I think you might want to pick this one up just for the entrance gear alone, to be honest with you. But the formula isn't really all that bad. The torso maybe could use a smaller torso, or just a simple, less gigantic looking torso, but I feel like it looks like it scales well when you compare the idea of other figures in the ring. So I can't really complain too much, but honestly, I think I'm gonna have to give him we're gonna give him a good solid 8 out of 10. A little bit of paint blemishes don't really hurt, so yeah, I'm gonna give him a good solid 8 out of 10. But when it comes to the good old Dave Meltzer 1 to 5 stars, the good old 1 to Young Buck match, what would I rate this man? And honestly, I think a good solid 3.5 I feel works just fine for this. Hey, it's a solid figure, could use some slight improvements in my opinion, but not the worst figure I've seen, and definitely not the worst Ultimate Edition figure I've ever had in hand. So I'll definitely chalk it up to that. Of course, this is just my opinion at the end of the day, but speaking of my opinion, if you guys could and or would like to, feel free to like the video. After all, it is free to like, and it is also free to subscribe, so feel free to do that too if you guys would like to. After all, we are on the road to 400 subscribers as of recording, and we are, well, if my camera would fucking focus on this dirty ass phone, goddamn, 384 subscribers deep. We are so damn close to the good 400 marker. Then we're just 100 away from 500,000 subscribers, which is actually kind of crazy to think about, just because of the fact that I didn't think I'd be ever getting this far. Little old high school me would be very proud, yes indeed. But on that note, other than liking and subscribing, if you guys could, feel free to go check out any of my other action figure videos. Of course, we've got 2 pick fed videos up at the moment. Feel free to go check that out. Those were the 2 matches I was talking about earlier. We've got the last review I did, which was on Rhea Ripley's recently. And, well, if you search deep enough, you'll find stuff like unboxings. You'll see how to fix Mattel's leg problem as of late, because, sadly, we have a big issue with the legs. And just go check out some of the other content if you haven't already. And yeah, on that note, maybe go follow me on Instagram as well. before I forget, you'll see a lot of the pick fed stuff up there first and foremost. So if you're impatient and you would like to see what's up and coming, maybe you would like to see some of the spots before you watch it on YouTube, feel free to go check it out on Instagram. Can't necessarily say the matches are in full because, in a sense, repeat spots like punches where they're constantly throwing punches over and over again at each other, or at someone laying on the ground or in the corner, I don't tend to like repeat those shots a bunch. So, keep that in mind, I guess you could say, if you really want to. And my bad for the rambling, but on that note, thank you guys for getting me where we are here today. And on that note, have a good rest of your day, morning, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I'm not in your time zone, and if I were, would I really want to be? That's the real question, because I don't even want to be in my time zone. Okay, pal? But on that note, we are signing off. Deuces, ooses, yeet.